kind of had a mix of games where big wins, big losses, kind of close wins, close losses as well. So kind of battle tested going into the conference play. So just go ahead and give us your overall thoughts of the season so far, and then preview UTEP and New Mexico State.
Yeah, I think we've put our team in a lot of different situations. We've been in some tough environments on the road against two top 25 net teams. I think TCU is at like 6 or 7 right now in the net. Obviously, they're beating people by a lot. It's not just us. Baylor, obviously, the same thing. They've both gotten off to good starts in Big 12 play. They're top, I think they're 25, 24 in the net this week. So. And then SFA is a tough place to play. They've gone to San Diego State and won there, and then have a couple other good wins. I think one other good win on the road as well. So I think we're battle tested for a young group, and this group has gotten a lot of different experiences. Some of them have been thrown in the fire, and it's been good to see them respond. I think you've seen the growth and maturation just through 11 games, and I think we've got so much more to improve on, especially on the defensive end. But they're focusing on the things that we're asking them to, and they're trying to correct those. I think you've seen our turnovers go down here over the last few weeks, and that's been a good thing. We've been really focusing on that. Not that we weren't before, but I think our transition defense has gotten a little better. We still have some work in that area, but really trying to get out and push and create some space offensively, which allows our bigs to work inside one-on-one. It allows for driving opportunities for Robin and spot-up shooters when G and Rob create. So I think it's, now it's all 0-0, and it's conference play, and these games come down to 1 or 2 possessions. And hopefully these 11 games have prepared us in terms of knowing what we have in our group and at this point, and then we'll continue to get better and improve as we go.
As you looked at, I guess, just the league overall, how do you feel like it stacks up just overall this year?
I think it's pretty good. You look at Western Kentucky, I don't think they've played quite as tough a schedule as what Middle and Liberty, and then we've played some tough games as well. But they've been on the road a little bit. They've played quite a few home games also. But they're deep and they're experienced. New Mexico State goes to Oklahoma on Sunday, and it's a close game. Third quarter, I think they're about a minute left. Oklahoma goes on a little 10-0 run and stretches it a little bit. But it's close game, and that's the number 9 team in the country. And they're tough. They're experienced. We've got some older teams. Obviously, Middle Tennessee's played a difficult non-conference schedule, as always. Liberty, I think it's pretty solid, I think top to bottom. I don't think any night in conference play, regardless of who you're playing, especially if you're on the road, is going to be easy. But I think, that top half's pretty stout.
You talked about, the turnovers, bringing that down over the last few weeks. So do you think, that's still a work in progress to get that number down even more when you face different competition in conference play now?
Absolutely. And I think, what we've tried to stress to them from day one is, the teams that make the fewest mistakes, the ones that don't beat themselves, those are the teams that, it doesn't mean you make every shot, but if you can take care of the ball and get the ball, whether your turnover margin's pretty important, and limit other teams' offensive rebound opportunities, then you're limiting their offensive opportunities, and then you're getting 2 times that for yourself. So we got to just take advantage. I feel like we've got some weapons offensively if we just maintain control of the ball, and I think we've been much better with that. I think yesterday our 5 guards were 19 assists to 5 turnovers, and 2 of those were travels. And some days these turnovers in early season depend on whether officials call travels or not, because they won't call them later in the season. So I think they've been much better with that, just understanding. Some of that goes back to spacing, of just running to correct spots in transition. And some of our turnovers were based off execution of people were in the wrong spots, and it's clogging people up. And when they go to drive, there's an extra defender there. And just making sure that they're aware of those things, and I think they've really focused on that. We've tried to put them in those situations in practice to correct that, and I think they've made a very conscious effort of doing so. But it's conference play. You'll hear me say it throughout the next 3 months. it's going to come down to 1 or 2 possessions. And it could be that, possession in the middle of the third quarter that changes momentum. And you've got to be able to make sure that you get a shot, or at least attempt a shot. We can rebound a missed shot. We can't rebound a turnover.
You look at, obviously, with this young team, how big was it, I guess, from a confidence standpoint, would it be to get off to a hot start in conference play? Just, I know you got some big tests coming up. I mean, 2 home games, entering league play for the first time. It feels like if this young group can get hot and kind of get on a roll, they could maybe find something.
I think so. I think it's big. They're all big. I don't think you put, I learned this. It was hard. You go back to the mid-2000s. I was at Texas Tech as an assistant, and Baylor's number 1 in the country, and A&M was, Coach Blair was there, and they were, about to win their first national championship. We had some Texas, Oklahoma. We were some really good teams. We were in the NCAA tournament, but every night was just brutal. And I learned then, you can't look at a schedule and start counting wins. Well, if we get this one or if we get this one, it's just simple approach of one day at a time. How do we get better? It is extremely important that you try to get off to a good start at home, because it's hard to win on the road, and you got to protect your home court the best you can, and then go try to steal some on the road. So I think for this young group, I think they've gained some confidence. Even in big losses at TCU and Baylor, we were able to show them some things. Hey, if you just execute these things, if you do what we're asking you to do, or you do what you're capable of doing, some good things can happen from that. You can play at this level. And they've been able to do that. So hopefully they've gained some confidence with that. But it's important. You always want to get off to a good start. You want to put yourself in a hole to begin with. But I think our group understands that we've got to defend and we've got to rebound and we got to be tough. Everybody we play is going to be older than us. We've said that all year long. But our young players have played a lot of minutes already, which is good.
I feel like you kind of got a better understanding of the team that you have now going into conference play, of things that you had and things that they still need to work on.
I think so. Some days, I think early on it was just consistency of one day this one would be, good. The next day this one, you didn't know what you were going to get. It was kind of a mixed bag, but you're starting to see some players, not that they understand their role, because I think those are, ever evolving, but I think they're gaining more confidence and comfortability in those roles. And I think that's important. I think we know what kind of situations to avoid for them and better to put them in. And I think that just comes with us being able to spend time with them and have 11 games with them and see them in some different experiences.
Curious about Al's recruiting journey. I know when we talked a couple years ago into the foreign exchange story, and I think you even said we didn't get some of them even on campus. And I know obviously things have changed now. I guess walk me through how you were able to get her here from Australia.
Yeah, Scott just had a connection with them and made that connection just via the internet, and then we got to see her live in Chicago at a Nike event. Their club came over and played in a big Nike event, so we got to see her in person in that, and then just kind of via Zoom and FaceTime and WhatsApp, just communicating that way. She signed with us in that November and then came over on an official visit with her dad in late January, early February last year, and got to watch the team play a couple of games, a Thursday, Saturday, and that was pretty cool. Talk about a whirlwind trip. The NCAA gives you 48 hours for a visit, and they came from Australia, and major time difference, obviously, and was here for 48 hours and then left. So that was a quick turnaround. But, it's always interesting to me. I think it's I think they're very courageous I don't know at that age that I could pick up and move across the world. And I think it's really neat to see what some of these young people do. And I think you got to give them, a lot of praise. I think there are days you have to give them grace in understanding, hey, they're not in the same, they didn't get to go home for Christmas. She and Adna went home with Avery for Christmas, and you know they're not with their family, and so they're going through some different things than maybe some of our other players are. But I think it's really neat. I think it's a unique opportunity for them, and just they make the most of it.
Any
How
questions?
would you assess how Paris has progressed, maybe from the start of the year to where she's at now?
Yeah, it's been really, really neat to see her evolve. I think confidence and just an understanding of what we need. Like I've said this, I talked about yesterday post game, but from day one when she got here, she has been just an extremely competitive individual every single day in practice. She loves to compete. She plays with a ton of passion. It doesn't matter if we're up 20 or we're down 10, and she gets an and one, you're going to see it. Like she genuinely celebrates the little moments, but she celebrates for her teammates really well. And I just think she's very purposeful in her work and her approach. It's a very mature approach. And I think something flipped for her at Baylor, of just being able to be aggressive and attack and go, hey, let loose, turn it loose. Like, this is how you've been attacking. She's a very good and very efficient downhill attacker. And when she gets in the paint, she can really maneuver her body and finish around length and through contact. And she just gives us a different dimension with her size and length. And I think she's found something with that we've kind of seen all along. We were just hoping, hey, like, let's go. And I think she really gained some confidence. That was a spark for her. I think she went like 4 straight in double figures since then. And then I think she had 8 yesterday. Would have been 5 straight for her. But I think she's really starting to gain confidence. 5 assists, 1 turnover yesterday, 2 blocks. She's just versatile. She just does so many different things. And I think it's really big for our group because it takes some pressure off G. It takes some pressure off of, she can play the 1, she can play the 2. I think she gets out in transition and runs really well. She pushes in transition at the 1. She's really starting to get comfortable with a 3-point shot, knowing when to shoot it, what to look for, and it's been really good. I'm excited to, continue to see that. But I knew it would happen eventually because she shows up to work every day. It's those kids that maybe don't put in that extra time or aren't as concerned with those things that you may not see it. And I knew it would happen eventually because usually that work is rewarded. I was just really excited to see it for her because she does put so much time and effort and energy into it.
Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, awesome. Thanks, guys.